Will Warren, he's really come out hot.
Swing and a miss.
Got good curveball.
There's strike three.
Fastball's been outstanding. I absolutely love how he's been able to command that.
Swing and a miss. How about Warren?
Tremendous outing. In my opinion, maybe the best he's looked all year.
Swing and a miss. Will Warren is pumped up.
A little dance there, pirouette by Warren. Will Warren with a masterful performance here tonight.
Will Warren getting the montage treatment here on MLB Central. And the Yankee starter good enough to join us in studio in advance of the Subway Series. Yankees-Mets tonight as Juan Soto and the Mets make their return to the Bronx. It's a game many of you can see right here on the network. Will, we're glad to have you in studio. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I was asking one of our researchers about, hey, let's dive into the numbers. What's been going on with Will Warren? And the first thing he said was the command. The command recently has been so much better. And I asked Dero, how do you develop good command? What would you say?
I think it's just having confidence, attacking the zone early. I think if you can get the hitters on their heel, then you have everything at your disposal.
Has anything been different the last two starts? I mean, Broyd, can you pop up the board of his last two starts?
Been really good.
I've watched both of them. They've been like crazy dominant. And your ability, we'll get into your ability to sweep the baseball, sink the baseball, but I mean, your lines here, 7 punch-outs, no walks, 9 punch-outs against Seattle, no walks, starting to go deeper into the games.
Like, and in light of how in the light of how the season started for you to have these kind of recent performances.
Yeah, I think it's just confidence, trusting my stuff in the zone. I think, you get into this league and you kind of get beat up a little bit and you nibble and you're scared of contact, and I think it's just trusting my stuff right now, knowing those, the guys we got in the Bronx are going to take care of me behind me. So it's just trusting everything.
Tell the world, no disrespect to any other team. Tell the world what it feels like to put pennies on and run out at Yankee Stadium and pitch.
I don't know if I can describe that.
Right.
Something that I've
dreamed take a
up.
minute, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first time you run out on Yankee Stadium mound, it's just take it all in.
Well, you're from Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes.
Went to school at Southeast Louisiana and Hammond, Louisiana, so you're still in that area. You're an 8th-round draft pick. There's not a lot of 8th-round draft picks that are getting quality starts and performing for the New York Yankees. How did you get here? When you think about the journey that you've been on, what comes to mind?
I mean, I've had a lot of people in my corner supporting me the whole way. It's honestly a dream come true, like I talked about. But I think, the organization that I'm with, the Yankees, they're top notch. They've helped me. Like you talked about the sweeper and stuff like that, from a pitch design, from a mental.
Are you a much different pitcher than you were? I know mentally in college, but the arsenal. Were you a sinker slider guy in college?
I was a sinker curveball guy in college, and it was probably more of a runner than a true sinker. So like right when I got drafted, we hopped right into pitch design. Hey, you can spin the ball. We're going to teach you this.
You can certainly do that. There's no denying it. The boards, we'll get into.
Yeah, Dero and
I want to get into some ABs of your last couple starts. We're going to walk through. All right. Perfect. First off, bring up some of the ABs against the Athletics, and we're going to walk through like how your attack plan, what you're thinking, differences between facing lefties and righties. We'll eventually get you up on the mound. I want to see some pitch grips, and I want to see what you're thinking about when you're kind of gathering yourself over the mound. And you get fiery. You always had that in you? Pause this.
I try to contain that as a starter as much as I can.
Don't. I don't think you should.
Can't waste energy out there.
All right, I think this is Soderstrom right out of the gate. So you talk about spinning the baseball. That's 4-seam, top of the zone. Pause this. That's another 4-seamer?
Yeah.
So are you trying, like, back in the day they would say, all right, you've got him 0-2, now maybe waste something. You're trying to be efficient and go right after him?
Yeah, I think it's you take your shot when you got it, and then it's back to the zone.
So it's curveball right here.
Got to.
Really? All right, run this next pitch. And this thing's got bite.
Oh, no, we went changeup.
We went changeup first. Now get off that. Swoop. Run that back. Because this is in slow-mo, and it's got nasty bite and depth. So take me through, like, your thinking and ripping off this curveball. Like, how you holding it? Have you always had a good yacker?
Yeah, I mean, in college, I kind of threw from a higher slot. So get it into pro ball.
Yeah.
Can't really go climb. I think, you know, the hitters are the best in the world.
Yeah.
They're going to see that. They're going to hit it. So, yeah, we've been hammering down on the fact of, like, all right, we know where the sweeper's at. I know where my slot is with the sweeper. Like, it's just a different grip, same pitch. And we get depth on it.
There it is, right there. Run this slow. And Soderstrom's gotten off to an amazing start, so he's not somebody you can just leave something out over the heart. He misses that by a foot. All right, I'm going to take you through this one. Shea Langoliers, a.k.a. Shea Bangoliers. We're going two-seamer down and away. Another two-seamer that you could have got the call on. Now we go sinker in. Sweeper. Pause this right here. Now, he saw that sweeper pretty good. Yeah. So what are you thinking right here? Because to me, if I'm Langoliers, I'm thinking you're coming back with the sinker right here.
Well, after that take, I probably knew he was on sweeper, so let's speed him up down and away.
All right, run this. And then two-seamer right there. Just absolutely nasty. How are you holding the sinker?
I'm throwing like a...
That's how you hold your sinker?
Yeah. It's
Can you get tight on that? Yeah.
It's like a offset, like one seam. I don't really know how to...
Can you get up on the mound and kind of, like, what do you thinking at release? Are you?
Well, I'm more of a, I guess, supinator. So I'm like here, I'm cutting the ball technically.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen someone hold the sinker there.
Stroman and I are actually
really
the two that, or he's the only other one I've talked to about it. But I think it's like you cut a little bit and then, you know, all the seam shift that's above my pay grade is.
So you're walking over to TrackMan right after.
I just take a look. Oh, that's nasty. Let's let's throw that again.
All right.
But yeah, I think it was trial and error. And
really?
It came to that.
All right, Rooker right here. Sinker. Do you remember every pitch of these ABs?
Most of the time. At first I didn't, and I kind of trained it.
Really? Come on. How are you getting the ball to do that?
Guy. Grip and rip.
Really?
Grip and rip.
That's grip and rip?
Yeah.
So you're coming set saying, I'm throwing this pitch as hard as I can, and letting it eat until Aaron Boone comes and gets me.
Yeah.
All right, I was yelling at you from my couch during this game because J-Rod showed you he was late on your heater all day. I know he hit the double down the right field line, but you almost let him back in this count. I was like, just go get him with that two-seamer top of the zone. I mean, that's by him. And then Cal Raleigh, he's interesting because he's been on one. We're gonna get to 3-1 and then we're gonna pause this. So you go two heaters, 1-1 count, you go change up down the way, 2-1, then you miss here, keep going. Now pause it. So 3-1 in a 0-0 game, bottom of the second against Cal Raleigh. I mean, we were always taught solos won't kill you.
Yeah.
I've been thinking if I'm Raleigh, I'm getting a heater right here.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what he's wanting.
And you feel good enough to command the sweeper whenever you want it?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the pitch that it's like, all right, we're going to live and die by that one.
Really? Okay, run this. You get this 3-1, now pause it. And you can tell Cal Raleigh's like, wait a second. I bought myself no think, and you just threw me that. So now you go curveball here.
Yeah, like I talked about. I mean, it's the same slot, just has depth. So.
Yeah, I'm chapped if I'm Raleigh because now I got to come back up in like the 4th or 5th, and I have no idea. So I'm probably going to sit soft the rest of the day. But why am I? Bring up the board of his movement on his sweeper, please. Okay, so this is what you've been doing your first 7 as opposed to your last 2. You've upped your sweeper usage. The curveball usage has gone up a little bit. But it's the movement patterns that blows me away. Like, to create depth on TV is tough. Are you aware of this?
I am aware of this.
You are, so you're into the numbers. Some guys, we had Paul Skeens here the other day. I said, talk me through your mechanics. He's like, I don't really think too much.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Most horizontal movements, so we're going this way.
I think it's like I talked about earlier, like having confidence in your stuff and knowing that your stuff's nasty. So I mean, I have my teammates that are like, bro, how do you do this?
So in live BP and the pitchers and everybody's coming.
So I mean, that's like, you know, it's
and
nice
you don't
to hear
know
that.
how you're doing.
Nice to hear that every now and then. No, I don't really know how I'm doing it.
Bring up the next board, because this is like, don't overthink it, all right? Induced vertical break, don't even worry about that. All we have to worry about is the fact that his four-steamer stays true through the zone, and his curveball's got elite depth on it, and his sinker's nasty, and his sweeper's nasty, so you're trying to cover just too many things as a hitter. So was that coming into spring training? Because there was no guarantee that you were a lock to make this rotation. So how'd you attack spring training when you walked in?
Yeah, I think it was, I got nothing to lose, you know, and everything to gain from just going out there and competing. And like you said, I mean, you can take away the inner half and bottom of the zone, but then the upper half's taken, or upper half's all mine, away is all mine. So it's hard to, you know,
Cover everything. All right, let's get back into the tape a little bit. I'm gonna let you cook here. So get up on the mound for me, if you don't mind, and kind of take me through, if you were teaching a young kid at home, what are you trying to accomplish? What are your keys? I know as a hitter, I had 3 keys when I walked to the plate.
Well, that's actually great timing, because Rodon and I have been going over a lot of stuff, just like above the like on the rubber, as far as like a stack, because you had some video from last year. Sometimes I tend to run off and
that's what
I lose all my velo, and
DeGrom was talking about pulling off.
It makes everything really nasty, but you're like arms delayed and all that. So it's like making sure that you're stacked above the rubber here and everything's on time. That way this can catch up, because you're not throwing hard from like right here. Throwing hard from like out here.
Are you thinking stacked here, separate here, or are you not worried about? Because I hear so many guys talk about, I need everything to happen here.
I've kind of like, my uncle always taught me, like, you're like a puppet.
There we go.
Your hands and feet are like.
Who was your uncle? Was he the
Jacob Blakeney got drafted by the Braves. Never really played higher than like AA, but he was always my pitching coach growing up. But it was like, everything's puppet, your hands and your feet are like tied together, so like when this goes, these break, and so you're always on time.
And what are you thinking at, and grip it and rip it, right?
Yeah, once you're here, you gotta rip.
Are you a guy that shakes off, or are you a guy that trusts your?
The catchers would rather me not say. No, I mean, we're good. We got a game plan beforehand, but I do think, you know, ultimately before you step on the mound, you want to know what. You have full conviction of what you're about to throw. Yep.
Wow. You're the name that goes in a win and loss column.
There you go.